Thank you, Mr. President. I rise on a point of personal privilege.
Senator has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to take a moment to just talk about the importance of women's health care, especially access to contraceptive health care. Although the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention tell us that we have made great progress as a country, 3 in 10 women in the United States actually become pregnant before the age of 20, and this is a significantly higher percentage than those percentages in other countries. I think as leaders in the Commonwealth, we have an opportunity to act. We have an opportunity to make our women and our families healthier. The governor has proposed in his budget what we call long-acting reversible contraceptives, or LARCs. This program actually has been a pilot program in the state of Colorado. And Colorado found that this program saved that state $42 million in avoidance of Medicaid costs. Essentially, for every dollar invested that Colorado invested in this program, they received $5 in return, or it would be a return in savings. There was a reduction in teenage pregnancies, but more importantly, there was a 42% reduction in abortions from that cohort that participated in LARCs. I would encourage us all to support this program. I also want to move on to say this month, in fact, it was last Friday, it was the 43rd anniversary of that landmark decision of Roe versus Wade. In that decision, the Supreme Court said that the Constitution really protects the right to privacy for every woman. And as we have discussed this issue time and again in the Senate, I think many of us have come to the conclusion that a woman's decision to have an abortion is a very personal decision. It is a decision that she and her doctor and her faith leader should talk about, but certainly not politicians getting involved with. I want you to know, and many of you do, that prior to the 1973 decision, thousands of women died each year because they did not have access to safe abortions. Aside from protecting a woman's health and her right to privacy, Wade versus Roe also expanded opportunities for women to participate equally in society. And I quote, and this was from a Planned Parenthood case, Planned Parenthood versus Casey, that went before the Supreme Court, the ability of women, quote, the ability of women to participate equally in the economic and social life of the nation has been facilitated by their ability to control their reproductive lives. There was a recent study done, and this was done by NARAL, that 99% of women will use birth control at some point in their lives, and 1 out of 3 women will have an abortion. The actions of this General Assembly in recent sessions are really out of line with where most Virginians view the role of government. I believe that the transvaginal ultrasound requirement, the 24-hour waiting period, the TRAP legislation were really intended to intimidate women and to erode our constitutional rights. 7 out of 10 Virginians also agree that government has no place in the doctor's office and that a woman should not be prevented from accessing an abortion within the construct of Roe versus Wade. I do want to note also that this morning, and I know these issues are very passionate, and I know many of us have very strong views on this, but we really are a country of laws, and I really believe we are stronger because we're a country of laws. And this morning, the Richmond Times-Dispatch reported that a Houston grand jury investigated the undercover footage of Planned Parenthood and found no wrongdoing, and instead indicted an anti-abortion activist involved in making the videos that targeted the handling of the fetal tissues in the clinics. I think that was a surprising result, but that was a result. Where we have had a lot of agreement has been around the protection of women from sexual assault and domestic violence, and I'm glad we have made progress in that area. 85% of domestic violence victims are women, and nearly a third of all women murdered were killed by an intimate partner. About 4,000 women die each year due to domestic violence, and 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence at some point in their life. I do want to note, though, that a woman's chances of being killed by her abuser increases more than 500 times if he has access to a firearm. We, as leaders in the Senate, do have many opportunities. We have opportunities to improve the quality of life for all Virginians. I do hope we will have the foresight and the courage to act, and I do hope that our actions will actually enable women, empower women, and treat women with the dignity and respect that they deserve. Thank you, Mr. President.